Hey guys, what's going on? Reanna here. Today I just thought I would make a quick video about the 5 tools, my must-have tools for storefronts. If I'm missing any of these things, then my entire day is off. Like, these are my go-to tools that I use every day. I clean storefronts, we clean residential as well, but a majority of our work is storefronts. And especially with hiring someone, I get to kind of split off and just concentrate on storefronts, which is, you know, great for me because I love them. So I just thought I would show you 5 tools that I think, for me anyways, are essential for storefront cleaning. Now, you may have a different opinion, you may like different tools, and that's fine. This is just my opinion. So there are a couple like honorable mentions I'm going to include in this video, and I will explain to you why they are not in my top 5. The first one is going to be my hip bucket that I use. Now, I think that there are how many different types of hip buckets on the market, and they all pretty much do the same thing. I prefer to use the Mormon hip bucket just because it's lasted me forever. It's like lasted me for a year or so now. No cracks, no problems at all with it. But really, if you use the Ninja, if you use the Samurai, like, good for you. They all do the same thing, really. It's just really personal preference there, so that's why I didn't include it. Another thing I didn't include was a pole, which obviously if you're doing any kind of storefront work, some of you guys even use a pole on residential windows. I've tried, I want to say, almost like every pole out there. Maybe not every single one, but a lot of them. And really, they're all the same to me. Really, there's only one that I didn't like that I've used. And I will say what it is because one of their products is, well, actually a couple of the products I do love. The Mormon pole was really the only pole that I didn't like at all. And that's just because the very first time I used it, it broke. And so other than that, whether it's Ettore or Unger, the poles pretty much are the same thing. You're gonna get what you pay for out of them, really. So if you go to Home Depot and you get one for a little cheaper than you would, say, at Window Cleaning Resource, it's not gonna last as long as, you know, a professional pole or whatever. But that's, you know, whatever. It's like 20 bucks. So yeah, that's why I didn't include the pole. And last but not least of the honorable mentions is the squirt bottle. I love this squirt bottle. This is a Mormon soap bottle. I had used all the soap and I use this as my squirt bottle now. It is non-drip. It's just awesome. I love this thing. I know that Luke's broke on him, and I think Jacob said that his broke as well, but I haven't had any problems with it and I love it. So the very first tool on my list of top 5 tools that I need on a daily basis, or I feel totally naked, would be my Ettore Super Channel with the Unger Ninja 40-degree handle. And now I'm counting this as one because I'm counting it as like a complete squeegee, even though I'm not using the Ettore handle that comes with it. The Ettore channel is a boss. It is a tank, and I've said it 100 times and I'll say it again. If you have employees and you're letting them use the little slim channels, I don't even know. I don't get it. The Ettore Super Channel is just, you can't break the thing. You couldn't if you wanted to. So when I first started with Luke, he had a Super Channel that he had been using for like 6, 7, 8 years. I don't even know how many years. And that thing was still kicking. Like, you get your money's worth with the Ettore Super Channel. I really like the Gold Super Channel since they've modded the channel a bit because of the whole debacle with the 18s being different. They used to be different than the other sizes of Ettore Super Channels. But now they've straightened all that out. They've fixed it. So the 18-inch Super Channel is my go-to. You could use the Ettore handle with it if you like. I just like the 40-degree that comes with the Unger, and it's a really comfortable handle to use. And because I am cleaning so many storefronts, it's just really nice to have that. Number 2 on my list for must-have tools, it's the Mormon sleeve. We have suggested this to I don't even know how many people, and everyone loves it. The thing holds so much water and they last such a long time, and you get so much use out of the sleeves that is just like amazing. Before using the Mormon sleeve, Luke and I tested out, it was a couple years ago, we tested out all of these sleeves, and by far the best one that I've used still to this day is the Mormon sleeve. So the next thing, I had $1 for every time that damn truck drove by.
Anybody else? No? Cool.
So the third thing on my list would be my scrim. This is by far my favorite tool that I've tried this year. And I am gonna say this is a tool because it does help me every day. This thing is amazing. I love it. I can get by with using one a day. Sometimes I'll switch to two depending on if I've done a really dirty job, or say I've been in a house and they have cats or dogs and I just don't want the hair to bother me all day. So really this thing just like is amazing. A lot of guys suggest to cut it down. I didn't need that. I don't need to do that. Personally, I like how big it is, but you can always cut it into 4s. It'll be a much more manageable size, but I do like it this size. I just put it right in my pouch on my side and it's just fine. Fourth on my list would be Quad Zero Steel Wool. And now I might get a little heat for that, but Luke and I do use this, and we try to use our brains when we use this. Of course, we're not using it on tent. We're not using it on every single window that we clean, but it does come in handy, and I do use it every single day. Now, here's where people and I disagree. When you have a T-bar, it has one end with a little abrasive pad on that end. And now if you're cleaning a door or a window and it just has just a couple little fingerprints, yeah, it's no problem just to buff them out with just this end. Then you don't have to use steel wool. Great. But when you clean, say, a play place, we clean a restaurant that has a play place in it, which is like lobbied off, so it has all glass, so of course you can see into the play place. You guys know how those restaurants, McDonald's has them, lots of restaurants have play places like that. When we clean that, the entire wall is covered in fingerprints, the entire wall of windows. And it is not something that I want to take off with just this. It would take forever. So for me, taking a little bit of steel wool, scrubbing everything down, using my Dawn and water, my mop, you know, it really is a time saver. And when you do construction cleanup, it is almost like mandatory that you use steel wool, in my opinion, just because there's so much grime on the windows. There's silicone, there's paint, there's plaster. There's just so much stuff on those windows that you need something abrasive. And for me, personally, steel wool is my abrasive pad of choice. It's cheap. Once it starts rusting, you just toss it away, get a new piece. To me, it's just, if I didn't have steel wool, that would suck. Okay, so the last thing on my list of 5 must-haves for my daily work would have to be Housecall Pro. Today I kind of realized how helpful it is. When Luke and I are split up, he has a guy with him, I'm by myself, and I'm kind of just a floater almost. Like I have my own schedule, but it's a pretty light schedule, so then I can just kind of float around and help them out. Housecall Pro tells me exactly where he is. Housecall Pro will tell me exactly where Luke is. It tells me what job's in progress when he finishes the job. It is just so helpful, so I don't have to keep calling him and bugging him all day long. You know, we do all of our scheduling, our billing through Housecall. I use on my route, so I'll get my schedule for the day, and I'm awful with directions, so I can just click on the job and click the little direction button, and it takes me right to Google Maps and shows me how to get to my next job. It is just awesome. I think it's just made Luke's life easier, 100%. It definitely makes my life easier as well. Luckily, I don't have to do like a lot of the paperwork stuff, and so, but Luke loves it. I don't know how our company would run without it now after having it, because, you know, today I'm going to an estimate, and instead of texting someone that I'm on my way, Housecall Pro does that for me. Or instead of sending like reminder emails that you have an appointment tomorrow, Housecall does that for us. It tells them that we're on our way. It tells them, you know, if we had to move the appointment. So it's just really nice to have. Okay guys, I'm just gonna sum it up real quick. Ettore Super Channel with the Unger Ninja 40-degree handle. Mormon sleeve. The handle, whatever, I use the Mormon handle. I can totally see why you would need one that has like a pivot to it. I mean, that's just up for you to choose whichever one you want. Third would be my scrim, of course, steel wool, and Housecall Pro. So those are my top 5 things that on a daily basis I use. I use it every day that I'm working, and I would be so lost without any of those things. Sorry about all the cars and all the pausing. There was a lot of cussing there that Luke had to edit out. Yeah, but thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, the notification button, the like button if you guys like this. And yeah, so that's it. Okay, see you next Wednesday.